So if you're not already aware, being a social media influencer or starting a small business on social media, being a content creator, I think is the number one most desired small business acquisition in globally right now. Right? People want to hop on, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, stuff like that, Twitter, whatever, and share their thoughts or share their life experience or share, their passions with people, and they want to make money from that. Yeah, guilty as charged, right? So what I'm going to do is use my past expertise as a photographer, videographer, podcaster, a speaker, and all that stuff like that, right? And I'm going to show you how to make your shot crispy, because YouTube is a video first platform, and YouTube is sort of the pinnacle of all these social media apps. Even if people do well on TikTok, even if people do well on those other Instagram or those other apps, people still want to make their way over to YouTube, because I think it's the most evergreen app. Meaning, when people discover you on Instagram, they're only going to do a few scrolls before they stop scrolling to see all the kind of content you have, for the most part. TikTok, same thing, but I think they may go back a little bit further in TikTok because of just the nature of the app. But YouTube is super evergreen, meaning you can have a video that you shot 15 years ago, but if it still resonates with people, when people start searching for it, YouTube will recommend it, and you'll still get views on those videos. You can still sell affiliate products or your own products from those videos. So it's evergreen, meaning once you put this video out, it'll probably do well for a long time. At least it has a longer shelf life than your Instagram, your TikTok, and stuff like that. But because it's a video first platform, some people feel insecure about the quality of their video. They're like, it just doesn't look good enough. Here's another little sidebar before we get into me showing you how to make your shot look crispy. I'm seeing a lot more organic looking videos on YouTube, meaning people shooting it with their cell phone or whatever kind of phone or whatever kind of camera that they have. The quality it's not bad quality, but it's not cinematic, right? There's no color grading. It's just somebody sitting in a car or the RV or truck, and they're sharing their thoughts, sharing their life with people. And a lot of these videos have millions or hundreds of thousands of views. So it's not really the quality that matters, it's the connectivity. But with all that being said, people still want their shots to look crispy. So what I'm going to do right now is run you through my version of what I think it takes to get your shot to look crispy. And again, yes, this is all relative, right? Art is relative. But for the most part, I understand what people are talking about when they say they want their videos to look good. I'm not even going to cut this, in piece by piece. We're going to do this in one take, one shot, so you can see how easy and how simple it is to make your videos look crispy. All right. So here's my philosophy. The first thing you want to do is be aware of the space that you're in. I'm here at my job in a little, sort of studio space. So the first thing I want to do, if you're in a small space, because a lot of people are starting in the bedrooms, what I suggest you do is you shoot in the corner. And it's not that you can't shoot, with a wall behind you, right? I guess there's some space in here. Right. But sometimes you can feel cramped, or your video can feel, a bit claustrophobic if you don't have a lot of space. If you just shoot on, with your back to a wall. Right. And again, there's some space in here. But if you shoot in the corner, like so, if you shoot in the corner, it gives your shot more depth. There's these leading lines, right? Where sort of frame me, right? And frame the whole background and stuff like that. And again, don't mind the LEDs and all that. Like I said, I understand that I have some space in here, but even if you're in your room, you can take your cell phone or take your whatever camera you have, and you can test it out. If you just angle it to where you shoot in the corner, the shot will just look a little bit more crispy, because there's depth in layers and leading lines in the shot. So that's the first thing. If you're in a small room, even if you're in a big room, because I'm in a sizable room now here, but shoot in the corner to give your shot more depth and more leading lines. This is like a visual language. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but just trust me, these things work. And you know what? I wasn't supposed to cut this. I was supposed to do it in one take, but my camera just stopped recording for a second. So forgive this cut right here, right? But anyway, next thing you want to do is make sure you light your shot. There's no one way to light your shot. One thing you definitely need is a key light, and the key light is the light that is lighting you. The key light is the light that's lighting you. So today I have it's like a cheap light from Amazon. I don't know if you can see that right here. Cheap light from Amazon.com. All right. And it's not a bad light. I have this is like the work light. My light is a little bit more expensive, but it doesn't need to be. That was the point of me telling you that. That wasn't like a humble brag. That was me here just showing you that, like, for the most part, light is light. So we have a light right there, and I have a lantern as a light modifier, which is lighting me mainly because I'm right next to the light, but it's also spilling a little bit of light in the room as well, right? But not too much because I want to have that depth, right? So you need a key light definitely so people can see you, or so your camera can pick you up, because the lighter the pixels, right? The video was made of a certain amount of pixels. That's how we get, HD or 4K or 6K, 8K. Make sure your pixels are bright enough, because the shots is going to be sharper, right? Make sure you have a key light, but if you want to take it to the next level, you want to add what's called you want to be backlit. Now, there's a couple kinds of being backlit. You can be backlit in the sense of the light facing you. So, for example, if I turn this way, right now I'm backlit, meaning the light is shining on my back, and it sort of, outlines me a little bit. Now I'm falling into a silhouette because I don't have a key light this way, right? But this is being backlit. Backlight also can just be you taking a light and shining it on the back wall. You understand what I'm saying? And what that does is that gives your shot more depth, right? Again, you need I have my key light here, and then my backlight back there, which is just shining a little bit of light on the wall, but is giving the shot more layer, so to speak. I'm about to turn it off and show you the difference. Hang on. All right, now you see, and again, I'm still being, I'm still being lit by the LED lights. I actually should have turned those off. Let's go ahead and turn those off right now. But you see the difference that it makes. Doesn't make it a bad shot, doesn't make it a better shot, a bad shot, anything. It is what it is, but you see the difference. Now the only light that I have in this room is this key light that I'm being lit with, right? Again, I'm the most important part of the video because it's YouTube and people want to see you, but the depth has sort of been taken out of the room a bit because I only have the key light lighting me. But if I light these, if I turn these lights back on, you'll see that the shot becomes a little bit more cinematic. Let's turn this back on right now. Hang on. Boom. You see what I'm saying? And now we're back to our original setup where I have my key light lighting me. The LED lights is adding some more depth and that little hint of light on that back wall. Again, to separate me from the back wall, to give the shot a little bit more layers and a little bit more depth and a little bit more cinematic quality lighting. Key light, some kind of backlight. Next, we're going to do camera height. So camera height. So I guess this falls in the category of composition. Composition is just sort of where your subject, whether it's you or whatever you're shooting, is placed in the shot. Is it, dead center? Is the camera, cutting? Is there a lot of space or not a lot of space over top of the head? Is the camera super low? Am I off to say one side of the shot? You know what I mean? Off to a third of the shot. You understand what I'm saying? Camera height affects the way people are perceived. At the beginning of the video, I made a statement that I was going to do this in one take and not make cuts in between. I'm going to show you this is one take, but the recording is stopping and starting. So forgive me, but I'm going to show you it's simple and this is really one take. Well, for the sake of me not wanting to make a mistake and have the audio of my gear crap out, I got to put these cuts in it. But again, I digress. This is a high camera height, right? And it doesn't make it good or bad, but you can see how this changes the way I'm perceived in the video. So if the camera is high and angled down on the person, it sort of makes them look a little bit more meek, right? Or just not as authoritative. You understand what I'm saying? Makes you look smaller, maybe scary or scared or overwhelmed if that's the look you're going for in your shot. Now as we bring it down a bit, we're gonna go eye level ish, right? You see what that shot looks like, right? So we got camera height, and then we also have how close or how far the camera is placed. The distance of the camera also affects the way you're perceived. Now this is about eye level. We're gonna bring it a little bit closer and we're going to drop it down a little bit lower than eye level, and the lower you go, the grander you start to look, right? This is like the hero shot, so to speak. So now we probably at my chest, and I'm going to angle this up a little bit, right? And again, none of this is right, none of this is wrong, none of this is good, none of this is bad, but I'm just showing you how camera height and the distance from your camera lens to you changes the way you are or your subject is perceived in the shot. So pay attention to the height of the camera. How do you want to be perceived? Do you want it high? Do you want it eye level, or do you want it below eye level? And do you want it straight or angled up or angled down? And again, that will affect the way people perceive your shot. Next, we're going to talk about audio. I know this is a video about video, but audio is at least 50% of the equation of what people perceive as professional or high quality or a lack thereof. It's not really about the pixels, whether it's 4K, 6K, 8K, whatever. It's about, your shot, your composition, angles, lighting, depth, and stuff like that. But audio is just as important. The higher quality of audio, the better your video will be perceived. As far as not that audio makes it a good or bad video, but if it has bad audio, it'll be perceived as less value. But if it has good audio and people can hear you, one, that's a good thing because people want to be able to hear what they're watching, right? It cut out on me again, so let's go ahead and wrap this video up. But make sure your audio is crispy. Meaning just use some type of microphone, whether it's a USB mic like this. This is the Samson Q9U or Q2U, which is an amazing entry. I shouldn't say entry level as in you can't grow with this microphone. You could buy this microphone and just rock out for the rest of your career. But you can also upgrade if you want to too. This is XLR and USB. But you can know the handheld microphones you see people use all the time. But just make sure your audio is crispy, and that'll greatly increase the quality of your video or how you come across your video, whether it's professional or no matter if it's professional, lighthearted. People will assume or just feel like it's a better video because when they can hear you, and two, the audio just sounds professional and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg to have great quality audio. And then last but not least is the color grade. So the video on your left is how the video comes out of the camera, right? It's a bit desaturated, it's a little bit dark, but the video on your right, it's color graded. I brought the brightness up a little bit. I added the saturation. I put a filter, for lack of a better phrase, which is really called a LUT, L-U-T, which stands for lookup table, which is a fancy word for a filter. But I corrected the color with the filter. I brought the exposure up, brought the highlights up to make the picture pop. And this is when you go to a movie or you see high quality video or you see a high quality TV show, this is the final product because they actually color grade the image. The ugly image on your left, that's how it comes out of the camera. And then the beautiful image on the right is the final product because it's been color graded. So don't forget to color grade your shots, right? So really take the time to get the exposure and things like that right, which I'll dive deeper into in other videos. But make sure the angle of the room is sharp. Make sure you have a key light and add some backlight if you can to add some depth to the shot. Make sure you have your camera height dialed in, whether it's high or eye level or below eye level. Make sure your audio is crispy by just investing in some type of inexpensive microphone, and make sure you color grade your shot to make it pop. And if you do a combination of these or do all these things, I guarantee you people will perceive your video as high quality, more professional, and you'll like the way you look on your videos as well. As always, y'all, ABC, always be creating, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.